There we go, that's good. Hey, this is Beau from BEAU'D Not Broken. We're here, right here in front of the motorhome. Happy BEAU'D Friday. Got the Superman on. Sonia doesn't have anything on, but she's She-Hulk, right? That's what I posted. Hope everybody's wearing their superhero shirt. BEAU'D Friday is everyone's a superhero. Wear it under, if you have to wear it under something or out just like this, that'd be great. Hope everybody's having a good day. Today we have Sonia Shearer with us today. She is the guru of wellness and nutrition and fitness and things like that. And she's kind of nervous.
Not public speaking.
And she's kind of nervous being
I'm rocking.
here. That's why she's rocking on a TRX. That's the whole motivation. This is the motorhome. Sonia is we're partners in the mobile TRX, and so this makes her feel comfortable. She's actually swinging on a TRX. So how about that one? This is the Daily Bend, and it's windy. We're in the Walmart parking lot here in South Jordan, and the wind is blowing, so hopefully you guys can hear us.
This is my Victoria's Secret windblown look.
Victoria's Secret windblown look. I asked Sonia to come today for a couple of reasons. One of them was to talk a little bit about TRX, but first to talk about food. The wind is swirling. To talk about food. So if you would, you know, there's so many people that we talk to, you talk to, that will train, that will talk about, wow, the wind is really picking up.
I think that's an omen.
Yeah, no, it's not. That we talk to about, geez, it might be an omen. We talk about food. We talk a lot about exercise. We talk about, I've done things on pills and patches and things like that. Tell everybody a little, you know, the percentage of exercise and food. Let's start there. Let's talk about how important food is, obviously, to health. Exercise is important, but how important is food?
My theory is that it's 95% nutrition and 5% exercise, because you can eat for 10 hours a day, but unless you're doing an endurance sport like BEAU'D or a Wasatch 100 or something, you're not going to exercise for 10 hours a day. So
95% to 5% exercise.
Right.
So what we put in our mouth, everybody, what we put in our mouth is more important than how much we move around, how much we think. You know, talk a little bit about, you know, not to rip on companies, but you can a little bit. What about the patches and the pills and the, you know, the different supplements and things like that? There are good supplements, there are good things like that, but what are you not getting in, you know, these fad type diets? Let's talk about that.
So the diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So if that was really working, then how come our obesity rate is getting higher? How come we're getting bigger? Just in this area alone, there are over 19,000 places to work out, whether it's, you know, Taibo or Taekwondo or Zumba or CrossFit or whatever. If we have so many places to work out, then how come we're just getting bigger? We're putting on more weight, we're getting, you know, more obese. Type 2 diabetes is on the rise, especially in young children. So if that's the case and we're exercising, or it seems like we're exercising more, then why are we getting bigger? So it really comes down to nutrition. And, you know, diet companies are making millions and millions of dollars because the marketing of, you know, how those companies market is to people who, you know, want to lose 5, 10, 100 pounds or whatever. So people buy into that because, you know, it is the magic pill. They want to believe what they're saying, but they don't have to prove their theories. They don't have to come back out and, you know, show you. They'll show you before and afters, but come on, let's face it. Do we really believe that? You know, and there's a whole food psychology behind, you know, the pills and patches and actually eating real food.
Right.
You know, our bodies are put together for macronutrients, which are carbohydrates, proteins, and fat. So if you take one of those completely out of your daily nutrition, and I hate to use the word diet because diet has such a bad connotation, like a New Year's resolution, But if you take that out of your diet, your body, they synergistically work with those 3 macronutrients. So if you take one of them away, you're constantly going to be craving that one thing that you're taking away that you're not eating. So until you actually put that into your body's going to continually look for that one thing that you're not putting in. So people who say, I'm going to do a low carb diet,
Okay.
you can't be active. You cannot physically perform, you know, on any good level if you're doing a low carb diet.
And why is that? Because carbs are only giving you
need the
one...
glycogen from the carbohydrate in order to really perform and be active. You know, when you start feeling depressed and moody and, you know, you don't have any energy and you're doing a low carb diet, well, why do you think that is? Your body, it's still craving that one thing in the complex carbohydrates that you're missing. So carbohydrates are good. You just want good complex carbohydrates. And the reason, you know, complex carbs are good is it takes your body time to break those down. You know, you don't get you know, if you eat white bread,
right,
your body doesn't have to work to break that down. So you have that rise in blood sugar and then that drop. If you're using complex carbohydrates, it takes longer for your body to process that because it's closer to the food source. So, you know, people who do some of these diet plans that promote, you know, it's high protein, or it's, I'm sorry, my head, like a ketogenic diet, you know, where it's, you know, a lot fat-based. I mean, ketogenic diet is for somebody who has epilepsy. You know,
okay.
You know, a doctor needs to really monitor that to know that you are in ketogenesis versus, you know, you're just drinking, or, you know, you're eating a lot of fat. Where was I?
Well, no, this is the Daily Bend, and we're talking to Sonia about nutrition and wellness and things like that. We're coming to you from South Jordan, Utah, in the United States, for those that are watching from outside. The Daily Bend is a show where we talk about faith, courage, and endurance. And I thought today, what better to talk about than, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have, you know, some faith in themselves and the courage to be able to say, I need help, or I need to go out, I need to lose weight, I need to be more fit, I need to do this. And they're really willing to have the patience, you know, and actually work for it. I've said before, you got to work for it, you got to be disciplined, you got to have a plan, things like that in anything you do. But the reason why I wanted to have Sonia on was because she can talk to, we've just talked about a little bit about diet fads and plans, or pills and patches and things like that. And you mentioned about the human body. The human body really isn't meant for pills and patches and things like that. It's meant for food, and real food, right?
Right. Absolutely. There's no substitute for real food.
So those that say, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna replace this with, you know, I'm gonna have a bunch of protein, I'm gonna have 4 protein shakes a day. What is that? Your body, what is your body saying? What does your body need?
Okay. So that also goes to the food psychology part. Our bodies are geared for pain and pleasure, and you can still take that, you know, to a nutritional aspect too, because your body, your brain wants you to chew. So if you're only drinking, your brain...
Wait a minute. That's an interesting comment. Your brain wants you to chew. Why is that?
The pleasure of chewing.
Okay, all right.
You know, gnashing
food psychology
of the teeth.
You're talking about, all right.
And if you just drink your calories, it doesn't have time to process that you've actually eaten. So you may drink 200 or 300 calories worth of protein, and 20 minutes later you're still hungry, even though you've ingested, you know, 200 or 300 calories. It doesn't process that as that you've actually eaten. There's not the pleasure part of it. So, you know, I'll tell my clients, if you're going to eat or drink a protein shake, make sure you do something that you have to chew with as well. You know, have some carrots, have, you know, a piece of, you know, chicken or something along with it, so you're chewing, so you get that satisfaction. I mean, we're all about, we're such a, I want instant gratification, satisfaction anymore. Well, you know, food, I don't know about you guys, but food does that for me. Beau's been around me long enough.
I think we all like food.
He knows how much I like food. And you ask any of my friends, who's going to be the one who orders dessert, you know, when we go out, it's going to be me. but I don't do it all the time. I do it,
On
occasionally,
occasion.
and it's just fulfilling, that part of the pleasure part of my, the food psychology. I don't talk about this a lot, and I told Beau this the other day. When I was in high school, I was bulimic, and it wasn't because I was fat.
Right.
It wasn't because I had parent or a mother who did that. I middle daughter of 5 girls. There are 10 kids.
5 foot. What are you? 5 foot.
I'm 5'2".
5'2".
Eyes of blue.
95 pounds soaking wet. Was bulimic. Okay, and that's, and I'm sure you weren't much bigger then. I mean, smaller than you are now, but that was a challenge for you. And what comes out of that?
So I've been an athlete really my whole life.
Biker,
I had
all kinds of stuff.
I had both my knees operated on my freshman, sophomore year of high school.
See, I knew we'd get to some adversity, and that's what it's all about.
So, my track career basically ended. I started cycling then. But, bulimia was an issue. I did it with a friend of mine in high school, and I won't mention her name.
Because she might see it someday.
She may watch this.
She may watch it.
She may not tell people what happened, but
Right.
she lost her first baby because of bulimia.
Okay.
And
There's a lot of people that may watch, or parents that are watching right now that, can identify with this.
so when she lost her first baby, and as a result of that, her doctor put her on the seafood diet. See it and eat it.
Right.
I kind of had to start changing, the way I was thinking, and really, my mom cooked 3 meals a day. We ate as a family 3 meals a day, everything from scratch. And that's how I eat too. I mean, it's not processed food. So I kind of quit about 1984, but I'm now 52, and I'm proud of that. But I still have residual complications because of what I did, 30 plus years ago. So, I look at the girls now and the social aspect in the media and how they push, that you need to be skinny and you need to look, wafer thin, and you need to be this and you need to be that. I didn't have that pressure when I was 17, 18,
Right.
20 years old. So add that pressure onto these girls now,
Right.
and it's even greater. So, I don't believe in an easy fix. I don't believe in buying into somebody's market of you need to buy this processed food because it's that much easier to eat. If you're making somebody rich off of their food, what if Nutrisystem, did I say that out loud?
Yeah, she said that.
Any of them. What if they go out of business? Do you know how to eat? Do you know how to cook? I want to teach you how to fish. I don't want to give you the fish. I want to teach you how to fish. And that fish is probably full of sodium if I give it to you anyway. So I want to teach you how to fish.
Okay.
I want to teach you so that you can teach your kids. Because, and it's a proven fact that as soon as we started going away from the kitchen and not cooking in the kitchen, our obesity rates started rising.
Really?
So, when you bring food back to the kitchen, you sit down, you have a meal, you talk, you're taking time to eat, to digest your food, to laugh, to not be stressed.
Right.
I mean, my most favorite time with my kids is sitting around the table.
Right.
And we will honestly sit there for an hour, 2 hours, and talk and laugh and
Right.
and enjoy being together. That's the way it always was. I mean, and it was when I was growing up. So, I can be the food Nazi, but I love all the junk. I love salt. I love sugar. I love fat. I just know I perform and feel better when I eat better.
And that's what you want for your clients, and that's really your passion, is this food psychology and food and nutrition and what we're doing besides all the other stuff. You're all for real food and changing behavior, right?
Right.
You're talking about fishing. You're talking about, I'm going to teach you how to fish it, go fishing for it. I'm going to teach you how to cook it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk real quickly. Is there any good fast food?
Not really.
No. Okay. So we've established the point there really isn't any good fast food if you're trying to maintain, you're trying to lose weight, you're trying to get fitter, whatever else there is. So that's the issue.
And you have to know that they have food scientists that put stuff together, chemicals and all sorts of stuff in fast food or Doritos or any kind of junk food to get you hooked.
Right.
I mean, the Coke at McDonald's, and I've heard this from clients and people, the Coke at McDonald's just tastes so much better than what I buy at the store. Well, why do you think that is? Do you think McDonald's is... I said it again.
Yeah, that's all right.
They're not paying somebody to keep you hooked on their food.
Right.
So, I truly believe in just, you've got to eat real food. And, I could go on for hours, for studies and whatnot about, studies and research and things that they've done. But that's...
What does come to mind though? This is the Daily Bend. We're talking to Sonia about food and nutrition, wellness, fitness, all that. So you're a fitness coach. You're a trainer, but then again, let's kind of go back to the beginning of the show where you said 95% of basically of what we put in our mouth is the most important thing, but you make part of your profession is training. Well, that's important too. Let's talk about that for a second.
Absolutely is.
The combination. Talk to that.
All right. I'm maybe not like some trainers who only look at maybe the financial side of it. I've had friends who have come to me who have crazy, ridiculous schedules and feel so guilty because they can't work out.
Right.
And their food sucks. They're making poor choices. They're doing fast food, and they're doing fast food with their kids. And my answer is not add more stress by making you work out. It's, all right, so park further away at the grocery store. Take a walk at lunch. Do some other stuff so you don't feel guilty. I mean, what is it that you like to do? I mean, do you like to dance? Do you like to garden? Do you like to do something? I mean, move so that you are burning some calories. Women do need strength training. I mean, that's super important. We start losing muscle, sarcopenia, we start turning 40 and we start losing muscle mass quicker. So, yes, exercise is super important. It's great to be active, motivated, but if your schedule doesn't allow for it, if that's a whole nother
right.
thing.
That's a whole nother show. We could
the stress of feeling stress that you're not working out. You suddenly start producing cortisol, which is not a great hormone to release. And so what happens, you produce this cortisol, your body thinks you're in fight or flight, you take the blood out of your stomach and you take it to your extremities to run away from the tiger that's chasing you.
Right. And
you develop this belly fat. Where does that cortisol go? Because it doesn't have anywhere else to go. So it's just, we could get into a whole lot of that. So I'll go back. Yes, exercise is super important, but not to the point where you're stressing out about it. We think we have to do, like heroic exercise, where you're killing yourself all the time. But are you in a constant state of stress because you really hate that? If you are, then you need to stop and figure out what it is that you can do that's not causing you stress, because then you're probably also stressed about your nutrition. And if you're stressed about your nutrition, guess what? You're producing cortisol again. So once again, you're putting on more belly fat because you're stressed. Your body doesn't know the difference between if you're running from something or you're just stressed because you didn't make that light that you just, got stopped at. So, really, your nutrition, the difference between gaining a pound and maintaining, depending on the person and their body fat and lean muscle mass, is between 300 and 400 pounds, or 300 or 400 pounds.
Wow, yeah, 300 or 400 pounds.
Okay, 300 or 400, 500 calories, depending on your body composition. So, if you eat 2 bags of chips, little bags of chips a day, or 5 handfuls of M&Ms or whatever, you've just thrown that out the window. So you continue to eat like that, and you're going to keep putting on weight. You know, I do food prep, and I mean the portions are small. You're only getting about 400 calories.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, let's back up real quick too. We're going to talk about what you do and kind of tell people about that and get your information out there. But composition. So different people are different. I mean, people are different. So well, let me back up. First, okay, we talked about different type of patches and pills and foods and things like that. Most of those foods are high in sodium and other things.
Right.
So those are prepared foods. Those are already like manufactured foods.
So not close to the food source.
So what you advocate is food from the grocery store and from the garden and from foods
the grocery store around the perimeter, not the middle.
The perimeter,
that's
okay.
where all the processed stuff is.
So with that, let's talk about body composition, because there's some women, there'll be women out there, there'll be men out there that'll say, well, I'm big boned or I'm this or that.
Okay.
And that's fine. Kind of speak to that.
Okay, so you know, our society has made it so that if you look at a woman and she's skinny, you automatically think, oh, she's in shape. But she can be a skinny fat. She could be 115 pounds and really be, 40-45% body fat. Or you could have a 150-pound woman who is 15% body fat. But society has made us so aware of being skinny that
right.
You think you need to be skinny. But, that's just
the
not
tall
right.
and slender
Right,
person
right.
is the one that we society say
Right.
is important.
Right. So, and realistically, most people are not going to look like that.
Right.
I mean, I've got clients who have been with me for years, and, your body is made a certain way, and you
right.
cannot cut and chisel and paste and tape and make yourself look like the person on a cover of a magazine.
Right.
So, kind of getting back to the nutrition part of it is, most people over the years, as I've done, I've had all sorts of clients. I feel like a good number of calories with the right macronutrients, carbohydrates, protein, and fat, is about 400 calories.
So you're saying 400 calories is kind of the ideal meal. How many times a day?
3 times a day, and a snack that's anywhere between 150 to, depending on the person again, 225 right. calories. So let's just, for those who don't know, I mean, I've done it for so long, I can kind of guess, and, trust me, I eat junk.
Junk fooder? Okay.
No, I don't.
No.
I don't eat junk food. I just like carrot cake and chocolate cake. And
I think there's a lot of folks that like that out there.
So, but like a bagel, people think a bagel is healthy, and it's not. It's a simple carbohydrate, and there's 250, depending on what kind you get, 250 calories in there.
Right.
Then you add some cream cheese on there, and depending on how thick you like your schmear, you've added another 200 or 300 calories of a lot of fat.
So you got a cheeseburger there.
Right, pretty much.
So
I mean, would you rather have a cheeseburger or a bagel? I'd rather have a cheeseburger, quite honestly. There's a lot more protein in that. But, it's really education. It's really educating yourself and really, looking at the nutrition facts and saying, how close to the real food is this? If it's processed, that's why type 2 diabetes is on the rise. It's because we are eating so many processed foods instead of real foods. Your body doesn't have to work hard, and we're a lazy society.
Right.
And now we're making our bodies lazier because we're eating processed foods. So your body does not have to work so hard.
So let's back up real quick. This is the Daily Ben. Back up just for a quick second, and then we're going to talk about what Sonia does and allow her to give some information out. We talked earlier in the show about how important food was, 95% to 5% exercise. So what you're not advocating, go grab a trainer and a personal trainer, fitness trainer, and go work out if you're going to go and eat fast food and you're going to eat processed food. You're advocating changing behavior. You know, we're all bowed and not broken, especially when it comes to nutrition, and that's kind of what I wanted to highlight today was, and we're going to do a few of these shows, I think, with Sonia, because they're, when
I have a lot
even
to say, I'm just nervous to be in front of the camera.
Don't be nervous. There's a lot of people out there that ask a lot of questions, and I think you can become a resource for them when it comes to food psychology and food. And you know, even if they don't buy anything, you like customers, you want people, but you also want to become, you know, you become this. I know you're a resource to a lot of your clients already, and other people, even people that have watched the show. I think somebody contacted you when Tracy was on this week about breast cancer after surgery.
It was Tracy.
It was Tracy, yeah, it was. Anyway, not to talk circles, but I think there's so much more to this that we can talk about, and I think that we just have to get over this really idea, this BEAU'D idea of, you know, we can eat whatever we want and then go out and exercise when it's, you know.
And then we'll meet for a bagel afterwards.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly. Tell people, time is good. Tell people what you do and how they can get a hold of you and those kinds of things.
So I do this.
Yes, the truck. We'll show the truck here in a minute.
So I do TRX, I personal train, I do camp, boot camp, but I'm not a meat instructor. I believe in, you know, I won't make you ever do anything I won't do myself. That's my verbiage. But I also do, you know, food prep. I do.
You do meals for people, right?
Right. So I cook your meals depending on how many you want, or you know, family. All portion, you know, right macronutrients. So it may be smaller portions than what you're used to, but you feel satisfied because you're getting the proper macronutrients with them. You know, I've had several clients who I've cooked for who have lost, you know, quite a bit of weight, and all done it all on their own. You know,
and you're teaching them kind of back up again to most of the show. You're teaching them how to change behavior, right?
Right.
And teaching them really how to, because you're just you might be giving them 1 or 2 meals a day, but then they have got to do another meal a day that you hope that will be similar, because you give them recipes and things like that, right?
I mean, so if I have somebody who's coming to me, you know, maybe 3 times a week, that's 3 hours, not even 3 hours out of a whole week.
Right.
You have 23 hours and 15 minutes to be away from me. And I can't be responsible for what you're putting in your mouth.
Right.
So it's taking responsibility and accountability for what you're putting in your mouth, and not blaming somebody else, and not using somebody else's processed foods to get you to where your goal is. And it's all about, you know, we use the word sustainability for a lot of things in our world anymore. And that's really what this is. It's all about sustainability. You cannot stay on an HCG diet for the rest of your life. Who can live on 500 calories? I couldn't. I eat that almost, you know, before 11 a.m. You know, so you can't. That is not sustainable. Crazy exercise is not sustainable. I mean,
and hurtful, right?
It is. I mean, how many people do you know who have overuse injuries? But, you know, I've had both of my knees replaced now. I understand, you know, my body I've abused my body exercising and doing the things that I like, but you have to love your body in order for it to perform for you. You can't hate your body into submission, to let go of weight, you know, to perform, you know, to the highest, you know, athletic ability if you're not taking care of it the way that you should be taking care of it.
So the normal, you know, Ted and Jane out there, you know, just normal exercise, but eating well is something that, you know,
you can't out-exercise a bad diet.
And that's probably the main point of what we're trying to do today. So how do they get a hold of you? I'll post. This goes on BEAU'D Not Broken, the website, and then all the social media. But you're on social media as well with everything. You are.
Oh, hey, I've got a card right here.
All right, so we just put that card out in front of there.
So my company name is Velocity Works. I like it because it means movement and moving forward. WORX. I'm on Facebook as Velocity Works or Sonia Shearer TRX, because this is me. I'm on Instagram as Velocity Works. I'm on Twitter as Velocity Works, and I'm on Snapchat as Velocity Works.
And LinkedIn and all those, right?
Oh yeah, I'm on all of them.
Okay. Do you want to take a minute and talk? Let's take one more minute and talk about TRX real quick, because we're here. She's actually sitting on a TRX like that, and as you can see, this is the motorhome that's been retrofitted with these big beams that come out, and the schedules we'll have a schedule coming out, but this is the TRX right here, and so people get really worried about what they're looking at here. This is not any kind of a torture contraption.
Well, it is.
Talk about what it is just real quick, and then we'll do a show on it.
It's all about core and body weight, and like I said, I had both my knees replaced. I had arthritis surgery on both my... Did you just pan down?
Yeah, I did. Your knees. Your knees.
Both my hands operated on, for arthritis. So I'm 52 and I've been put together again. But this is what I used a lot for my rehab. So, I've had clients who are older, younger, never exercised.
Right. So it's not just for those that are in great shape.
Absolutely not.
It's actually for people.
Anybody, any level, because I can modify for you, anything. So that is a whole other thing. But
yeah, we'll do a show, but that's definitely it definitely get a workout. I mean, you do a 45 minute workout, and it can be pretty intense. You sweat a lot.
Right. And I've had some guys, that would come and they'll burn 750, 800 calories in 45 minutes. So it's an awesome workout.
Okay.
Doesn't mean you can go to McDonald's afterwards, but
exactly.
Anyway, that's me. TRX and food.
Awesome. Let me turn this thing around again. All right, there she is.
I'm the short one.
Hey, thanks for watching today. Don't forget it's BEAU'D Friday. Hope anybody has good pics, send them to me. Hope you have a great day. Good show today. We'll see you next week, Monday through Friday, with more shows. And don't forget,
my website is velocityworks.club.
Awesome.
Club.
velocityworks.club. Okay. Thanks a lot. Remember, it's all about the bend. Have a good day.